Hello everyone, Ben here and welcome back to iRacing for round 6 of our USF 2000 Championship at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. We've had a fantastic championship so far. This is the second oval race that we'll be competing in, and it's a return to the oval at New Hampshire where last season we were struck by disaster.
And then what happens next is a huge snap of oversteer, and he's gone into the wall and he's collected us. And I just couldn't believe it. There was just nothing I could do in the time that I had to react to that.
So we really want to avoid that happening again. I've really struggled this week to find a full server so far on this race, so it is a bit of a reduced grid, but let's nevertheless see how we got on in qualifying. Here we go then, we're picking up the lap just as we're about to cross the start finish line to set our quickest time, hug to the outside wall, try and get a wide entry. What I found through the course of qualifying was getting the car sliding through the early part of the corner entry and then taking quite a shallow line was the quickest way that I could find through the two oval corners. I'm not sure if it is actually the quickest way, but you can see exactly what I mean here as we're right close to the yellow line on the inside. It means then we can drift out wide on the exit and then get the power down, and we cross the finish line for the end of what is a very short qualifying lap here at New Hampshire. Here we are then on the grid, and here is the final qualifying results. That time was enough to get us 4th on the grid out of 9, so squarely in the mid pack, but the gaps were pretty tight, so you got to bear in mind in qualifying it's cold tyres, cold brakes. We were just 0.2 of a second off the pole time. We were underneath the 30-second mark, and therefore probably not a bad lap all in all, but the question is going to be, can we do that consistently? Before we get going, if you at any point enjoy what you're watching, please do hit the like button, remember to subscribe, and you won't miss a single race we've got coming up. But for now, let's get down to the grid and see how we get on. Green lights then, and we are underway from 4th position on the grid, and our aim as ever in these races for the first couple of laps is just to stay clean, stay safe, and try and avoid any carnage that plays out up ahead of us. We've seen in every single oval race that we've done so far, there are big accidents in these races, so I just want to try and keep my nose clean. We got a very good result earlier in the season, oval racing, just by managing to avoid the carnage that played out in front of us, but already you can see there I'm struggling in these early corners. I can't get the car to slide in, and you can hear and see the scrubbing, and I'm struggling with understeer, and I actually have to get off the gas really significantly through these opening corners. So even though I'm managing to just about keep pace with the top 3, and I've got a little bit of a gap back to Stefan who actually started in the back row of the grid, so is already making good progress. I'm really struggling to just get my rhythm through these corners. I can feel like I'm not going through them as quickly as I should, and we'll see then that a 30.3 is my first representative lap time, and that is quite a way down on a short lap from where I would hopefully be at this stage with fresh tyres. Hopefully as we come up to temperature that's going to improve, but Van der Velde behind us means business. He's now within 1/10 of a second, and I can feel like I'm losing touch with the pack of cars up ahead at the same time, so I need to try and stay in their draft as they're fighting for the lead of this race. But now I've got to have my eyes in my rearview mirror as well, because Van der Velde's going to make a move down our inside almost immediately now. As soon as he's got the chance to, he's only got a nose down, but it's going to be enough on the exit to run side by side. Look at the radar in the top right hand corner of the screen, and you'll see that we've got the car down our inside. That means I have to take the wide line through the left-hander here, give him enough space, hope that he doesn't drift out into us. We're going to now hug to the wall, but he's got the move done and he can retake the racing line. I'm going to tuck him behind him. He's going to take the inside line to the next corner just to ward us off from trying a dive down the inside. We get a wide corner entry to try and prioritise a decent exit. I'm going to try and hit him back here and just get down his inside if I can get in the draft and then get a bit of overspeed into the corner, but I can't. And again, look at that, you can see us just struggling with corner entry. I'm having to then try and open up the steering to just get some power on the exit, but unfortunately it looks as if Van der Velde has got that move done, and certainly his grid spot not representative of the pace that he has. Let's take a little look back then at those opening few laps. You can see with so few cars on the grid, there is a little bit more space, but already the pack is sort of split into two halves at this stage. We've got the front four and then the back four. So we are just clinging on to that first pack of cars. You can see Van der Velde behind us in the light blue Renault livery has already made up 3 spots, and he's now going to have his eyes squarely set on our rear wing and catching up to us to eventually try and make the pass. Blumenthal is up in the lead in the Red Bull livery car at the moment, but here is that pass from Van der Velde down our inside. You can see just how close we get on track. Fair play, no netcode issues here. Actually really good close racing, and no sense that we were going to come together without actually making contact there. Really encouraging to see that, despite the fact we're on a server with lots of Americans and Europeans on. And that was the move done. Here's another view from up high to just show you how close we got through the banked section of the track. We then give each other a little bit more space on exit, but truthfully Van der Velde has the high ground here. I'm going to really struggle to get this back from him as he's got the inside of the corner nailed. We're going to try and just swoop back around the outside here, but we just don't have the room to do that safely, and we have to tuck in behind him. Meanwhile, there are more moves going on behind us as the cars immediately behind us are jostling for position 2, so I do have to have half an eye on that as well, because all of a sudden you can find yourself swamped from all angles in this kind of racing if you get slightly out of shape or slightly offline. So my task now is going to be to try and just keep in touch with the cars up ahead while not getting drawn into anything too silly behind us. Immediately behind us then we've got Graham Field, and just as I say that, he is also shaping for a move down the inside, so we're moving backwards here, really struggling with our pace. He's right down our inside here. We're going to be alongside one another on corner exit. It looks like we might just have a better exit than he does as we come around into the second corner of the lap. But then we just look up ahead, we've got tyre smoke, there's a car off, and that's Blumenthal, the pole sitter and early race leader through the first third of this race, is off the circuit, and he's dropped back, so that's going to put us back up into 4th place, but only for a couple of seconds, because it looks as if Field is going to try and make another move down our inside. We've been side by side now for well over a lap. Up ahead you can see Stefan van der Velde is trying to make a move for the lead as well, and he's done it. He's gone from last to first within the space of 4 minutes. Unbelievable, as we're trying to just hold off Van der Velde down our inside, but it looks as if he might have the move done, and he does. He moves back onto the racing line. We're going to switch to the inside line though for the next corner and try and hold that line, not drift out into his path, and look at that, he backs out of it as he tries the switchback move to get onto our inside line. This is fantastic racing. It's really nip and tuck here as we're just trying to defend from Field, but we've been side by side now for nearly 2 and a bit laps, and thankfully no sign of any contact, so I'm getting a feeling like I can trust Graham here that we can have a good hard battle without worrying for my safety or for his safety on track. And once again he thinks better of running side by side once more through the left-hander, so we do now look as if we've got a little bit of breathing space, and for the time being at least we've held him off and we can consolidate 4th position. Here then is Blumenthal's accident. He just struggles with oversteering to the corner. He's sliding the car through but just goes slightly too far. That is going to cost him big time. And here then are some off-board shots of that fantastic battle with Graham Field as we were running side by side for corner after straight after corner after straight, swapping positions, sometimes on the outside, sometimes on the inside, but always respectful. No danger that we were going to come into contact, even though we were running very, very close on track. Here's the switch that we played down the inside to just try and get that position back straight away so that I didn't lose touch with either him or the pack of cars up ahead, and we were just about able to make that happen, although he's then going to try and get the switch back on us. Really exciting and intense in the cockpit, this section of the race, because, you know, at this point, as I mentioned earlier, we were sort of in danger of moving backwards and into no man's land, as clearly I just don't really have the pace of some of the other drivers on circuit here today. I don't have the technique down to race on ovals in the same way that perhaps some of the other drivers today do, but at least at this point we're able to mount a bit of a defence. We resume then just over a third of the way into the race. We have been able to keep in contact with the 3 cars up ahead, but Graham is not giving it up in terms of fighting for 4th position, so he's going to come back and have another go now down our outside. As we're now going to have to hook to the inside line. He senses that we might have been about to drift out, so now he's going to again try the switchback move, get down our inside for the next straight. We're going to be side by side heading into the corner. It looks like we've got the slightly better drive. He though is going to hold it down the inside. That's going to be quicker in the first phase of this corner. Are we going to be able to again get back alongside him on the inside once again? We're going to try it. We're going to see if we've got the better drive, and it looks like we do, as all the time up ahead you've got the scrap between Gross, Raymond and Van der Velde raging for the lead of this race. We're able to just secure 4th place once again from Graham Field, but he's not going anywhere. He is tucked right in our draft. It looks as if he's going to be happy to follow us through this corner this time around, but we get slightly wide and out of shape, have to open up the steering slightly there, but it's not enough to allow him a chance down the inside once more, and at least for the next few seconds we don't have a car alongside us, so we can breathe a little bit more easily. I am just getting a sense at the moment that there might be a chance of closing in on Gross up ahead, but this is about as close as we've been, and as long as the front 3 don't do anything silly, then it's going to be a bit of a struggle, I think, to try and get up onto that podium, particularly as my rear view mirror remains full of Graham Field's car, who's only 2 tenths behind us once again. You can see he's closing right in on our rear wing. It's not going to be enough this time round to get down our inside, but he's taken the shallow line through the corner. That's presumably going to get him alongside us. Is it on exit? No, it's not this time, as Van der Velde and Raymond are weaving across the track up ahead to just try and break the tow, break the slipstream, or try and squeeze down the inside if you're Raymond, to try and take the lead of this race. Brilliant racing up ahead for the lead of this race. So we're over half race distance now then, and at the moment we're not in a bad position, but as I say that, we've again got Field down our inside challenging for this position. Not enough to get down our inside and alongside into the second corner of the lap, but any mistakes up ahead, I've got enough distance to react to them to not get collected in any accidents, and then we profit and be up on the podium. So it's a bit of a struggle, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't feel comfortable in the cockpit at the moment, but I do sense that there could be opportunities in this race for us, and Field has dropped back just a little bit. We've got half a second now back to him, but unfortunately we've dropped a little bit back from Gross. We're a second and a half now and out of the tow, and that could prove crucial in our battle with Field and my attempts to hold him off into the final 5 minutes of this race. He's got a really good run on us here as we come down the start finish straight. He's going to be alongside us into the first corner of the lap. He's down our inside. We have to give him space. We have to stick to the outside. He's gone right across back onto the racing line here very early in the corner because he had the overspeed to do it. We're going to be tucked up behind him then. It's going to be another case of getting down his inside. He doesn't seek to defend that. I'm grateful for that, because that then could have been very dangerous. But we're down the inside again. He's going to hang it around the outside though. He's not going to try the switchback move. This is a bit of a change. He's going to try and hold it around the outside, and look at that, he's got the better exit speed. So is this the end of the battle? Has he managed finally, after the best part of 5-6 minutes of being back and forward with Graham Field, has he got the move done? It looks like he might have, if I can't stick within his draft here through the next couple of corners and try and squeeze one down the inside of his car. But it's not looking good. It actually looks like he's managed to make it stick, and because we're struggling still with scrubbing speed off through those corners, I'm not quite sure whether we're going to get it back. Here then are some more off-board shots of this epic battle that has raged pretty much all race long between myself and Field, just trying to defend from him really. Clearly he has got the speed on us around this lap, but it's very hard to pass if you don't have a really big overspeed like Van der Velde did earlier in the race. So here he is, he's made his move down the inside. We're though going to just try and tuck up behind him and squeeze one back down the inside into the left-hander here at the start of the very next lap. We managed to do that, get down the inside. He's going to try and switch back onto our inside once again, and it was just like this. It was back and forward, but at least on that occasion we were able to close him off from trying to get back down our inside. And then for the next couple of laps, although he was shaping to try and take that early apex into the corner to try and get down our inside early through the bend, he wasn't really able to make that move stick. And it looked for at least a couple of laps like we might be able to hold this through to the end of the race, as he just dropped back by a few tenths of a second. But actually, as you look at it from the off-board shots, he never really went away. There was never that much space, it was never that comfortable behind us. And because he's got the toe, and because we were losing our draft to Gross up ahead, we really were a bit of a sitting duck here, as he's just trying to measure up and line up the best place to get this move done. We're going to move on board with field then, as we look back at the decisive move in this battle and how he goes about lining it up over the course of a couple of laps. So you can see there he's taken a deliberately wide line through the corner to maximise his exit speed down the next straight. He's going to try and do exactly the same again here into the second corner of the lap. He wants to get down our inside here, and he manages to do it. We're pinned up against the wall here. We can't really move now. He's right the way down alongside us. He's then going to take the inside line, hug tight to the apex on the exit of the corner. We might still be alongside him at this point, but actually he's got the move done. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was the end of that battle. I could not get back on the rear wing of field. He broke the toe and he steadily just eked out the gap up ahead, and unfortunately we drifted backwards. Blumenthal, who was the pole sitter and the early race leader, recovered to 6th position, but he's a good 7 or 8 seconds behind us, so we were essentially in no man's land as we round the final corner of the final lap and take the checkered flag to come home in 5th position. A very hard earned 5th position, but if I'm honest, a bit of an underwhelming one. This was the battle for the lead then, with Van der Velde coming under constant pressure from the driver in 2nd place, Raymond, but he just could not find a way past. And he's going to cross the start finish line here then to enter his final lap of the race, with the car all over his rear wing and just trying to line up a pass into this final lap. Here we go, here's going to be his best chance before the checkered flag. You can see he gets a better run out of that first corner. He's going to be alongside Van der Velde coming in to the final corner, but unfortunately he's not able to get fully alongside. He has to back out of it, and actually it gives Gross in 3rd place a little bit of encouragement too, but not enough to change any of the positions heading into the start finish line. And that is how the race finished. Here then are the classified results. Stefan van der Velde takes the win from the back of the grid. Fair play to him. We have to be content with 5th place. Not many championship points this week, just 34. That's a bit of a blow to our championship hopes, as we'll see. But I'm really not an oval specialist. I only do it on the occasion that it comes up in the USF calendar, so they're always going to be a little bit of a weak spot for us. Here then is confirmation of our I rating for the oval discipline, 1300 there, 2.8 and a D licence still on the safety rating, and we've dropped to 4th position in the championship. So still in contention, still hopeful for our final result, because this will be one of the couple of rounds that drops out, I suspect, from our championship total, as only your best 8 rounds count. I hope you've enjoyed the race nevertheless. If you have, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time.